In Okinawa, Japan, a 103-year-old woman named Tsuru Yamaguchi squats in her vegetable garden every morning, pulls weeds with her bare hands, stands back up without help, and walks home carrying a basket of tomatoes. No walker, no cane, no one holding her arm. Now compare that to America. The CDC reports that 40% of adults over 65 cannot rise from a chair without using their arms. 1 in 3 falls every year. Every 19 minutes, an older American dies from a fall. More annual deaths than car accidents. Medicare spends $50 billion a year just treating those injuries. And the number one reason Americans lose their independence is not heart disease, not cancer, it is falling down. So what are the Japanese doing that Americans are not? A 5-year study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy followed 3,000 Japanese adults between 60 and 85. Researchers at Tokyo Metropolitan University discovered that traditional Japanese stances consistently activate deep stabilizing leg muscles that standard American exercise programs completely ignore. Not the muscles you see in the mirror, the muscles that catch you when you stumble. The ones that decide whether you live in your own home or someone else's facility. These stances require no gym, no equipment, 15 minutes a day. Every one can be done in your living room. One important note first. If you have existing knee, hip, or joint conditions, please check with your doctor before starting. These movements are designed to be gentle and safe, but your individual health history always comes first. I am sharing 4 stances today, ranked from powerful to life-changing. Stay until number 1. A clinical trial published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found it reduced knee pain by 43% and increased quad strength by 36% in adults over 60. It requires nothing but a wall. Drop your age and location in the comments. We read every single one. Let us begin. Number 4. Kibadachi, the horse stance. For over 1,000 years, Japanese samurai used this exact position to train for battle. Not because it looked impressive, because it builds the one type of strength that prevents the deadliest kind of fall, the sideways fall. Here's something most people never hear. Research published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that lateral falls cause over 60% of all hip fractures in older adults. And the American Journal of Medicine reports that 30% of seniors who fracture a hip do not survive the following year. Standard exercises like walking strengthen your legs forward and backward, but they do almost nothing for lateral stability, your ability to catch yourself when you slip sideways on a wet floor or uneven pavement. A study from Juntendo University examined 160 adults over 65 who practiced isometric stances 3 times weekly for 12 weeks. The wide stance group showed 38% greater lateral stability and 29% improved proprioception compared to the control group. How to do it? Stand with feet 1.5 times shoulder width apart, feet parallel, toes straight ahead. Bend your knees and lower your hips slightly, as if sitting on an invisible horse. Spine tall, core gently engaged, hands resting on thighs. Hold 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Start shallow. A few inches is perfectly fine. Research from Tsukuba University confirmed that shallow holds done daily consistently outperform deep holds done occasionally. Depth matters far less than showing up every single day. Work toward 60 seconds over time. Every second builds your lateral armor against the falls that cause the most damage. If a 1,000-year-old samurai stance can protect your hips from the deadliest kind of fall, wait until you hear what the next exercise does for your ankles, because the research on this one surprised even the scientists who studied it. Number 3. Nekoashi Dachi, the cat stance.
Most doctors never mention this. The most common trigger for senior falls is not weak legs, it is weak ankles. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society analyzed 1,200 fall incidents in adults over 65 and found that 52% began with ankle instability, the ankle rolling on an uneven surface, a sidewalk crack, a slightly raised doorstep. Your ankles are the first line of defense between you and the ground. When strong, they correct imbalances before your brain even registers a problem. When weak, a single misstep sends you to the emergency room. Nekowashi dachi comes from traditional karate and mimics a cat testing the ground before stepping forward. How to do it? Stand near a wall for light support. Place one foot slightly forward. Rest the ball of your front foot lightly on the floor, like a cat pawing the ground. Your back foot stays planted, carrying about 70% of your weight. Both knees gently bent. Hold 20 to 30 seconds per side. A study from the University of Tokyo, published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science, found that adults over 70 who practiced weight-shifting stances for 8 weeks showed 41% improvement in ankle stability and 33% fewer stumbling incidents during daily activities. The 70-30 weight distribution is what makes this stance so effective for seniors. Full single-leg standing frightens many people. This cat stance provides enough challenge to activate over 200 stabilizing muscles, but enough support to eliminate the fear that stops most people from training balance at all. Practice while brushing your teeth, morning and evening, 2 minutes embedded into something you already do. Now pause for a moment. Think about what you've already learned. A 1,000-year-old samurai stance that builds lateral armor against the deadliest kind of fall. A cat stance that strengthens the exact spot where 52% of all falls begin. And we still have 2 exercises left, the 2 most important stances on this entire list. One of them unlocks the muscles that decades of American sitting have quietly destroyed. The other has more clinical evidence behind it than any other isometric exercise for seniors. Are you ready? If this is already changing how you think about leg strength after 60, hit subscribe now. We release science-backed videos like this every week, and the next 2 exercises are the most important ones you will ever learn.
Number 2. Shikodachi, the sumo stance. Here is a myth worth correcting. Most Americans believe tight hips are simply part of aging. They are not. They are the result of sitting. The average American sits 10 to 12 hours every day. Every hour tightens hip flexors, weakens glutes, and shortens inner thigh muscles. Over decades, your body literally reshapes itself around the seated position. Physical therapists call this adaptive shortening. It is why millions of Americans over 60 walk with short, shuffling steps, not because their legs are weak, but because their hips are locked. Shikodachi comes from 1,500 years of sumo tradition. It unlocks precisely what decades of sitting destroys. A study from Osaka University, published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, found that adults over 60 who performed wide stance exercises 3 times weekly for 10 weeks showed 45% greater hip range of motion and 37% stronger inner thighs. Participants also reported 28% less knee pain because stronger hips reduce the compensatory load placed on the knees. Research from the National Institute on Aging identified inner thigh weakness as the single strongest predictor of lateral falls in seniors, stronger even than quad weakness. Shikodachi directly addresses this. How to do it. Stand with feet twice shoulder width apart, toes turned outward at 45 degrees. Lower your hips slowly, sitting between your legs, not behind them. Spine tall, chest open,
hands resting on thighs. Hold 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Think of your hips as the foundation of a house. When the foundation cracks, everything above it compensates. Knees ache, back tightens, balance deteriorates. Shikodachi is foundation repair for your entire lower body. And now for the #1 stance, the one that changed everything for a 71-year-old retired firefighter from Nagoya, the one backed by more clinical evidence than any other isometric exercise for seniors, and the one you can start right now with nothing but the wall behind you. #1. The isometric wall squat. Masao Ishikawa, 71 years old, retired firefighter from Nagoya. After 30 years running into burning buildings, his knees were destroyed, bone-on-bone arthritis. His surgeon had scheduled double knee replacement surgery. His daughter, a physiotherapist at Nagoya University Hospital, asked him to try one thing first, an isometric wall squat, 30 seconds, twice daily, 8 weeks before making a final decision. 6 weeks later, Masao told his surgeon the pain was half what it had been. He had climbed the stairs to the neighborhood shrine for the first time in 2 years. He postponed the surgery. 4 months after that, he canceled it entirely. He told his daughter through tears, "That wall gave me my knees back." Here is the science behind why this works. A clinical trial published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine studied 120 adults over 60 with chronic knee pain. The wall squat group showed a 43% reduction in pain and a 36% increase in quad strength over 12 weeks. 0 joint injuries reported. 0. Researchers concluded that isometric wall squats deliver significant strength and pain benefits while placing substantially less stress on knee joints than any dynamic exercise equivalent. And there is a second benefit most people never expect. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Hypertension found that isometric wall exercises reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 millimeters mercury, more effectively than traditional aerobic exercise. For seniors managing both mobility and blood pressure, this single exercise addresses 2 critical health concerns at once. How to do it. Stand with your back flat against a wall. Walk your feet 12 inches forward, shoulder width apart. Slide slowly down until your knees reach a comfortable bend. Beginners may manage only 20 degrees. That absolutely counts. Knees stay directly above ankles, never forward past toes. Entire back pressed flat. Hold. Breathe steadily. Start with 30 seconds twice daily. Add 5 seconds each week. Work toward 2 minutes. Once comfortable at 60 seconds, place a soft ball between your knees and squeeze gently throughout the hold. Research from Kobe University found this increases lower body activation by 27%. Your wall squat time is your personal strength score. Going from 30 seconds to 2 minutes is not a feeling. It is measurable, undeniable proof that your legs are rebuilding. Kibadachi, building lateral armor against the falls that fracture hips. Nekowashidachi, strengthening the ankles where 52% of all falls begin. Shikodachi, unlocking the hips that decades of sitting have quietly frozen. And the wall squat, the most evidence-backed isometric exercise for rebuilding strength and reducing pain after 60. The Japanese call it kaizen, not perfection, just a little better than yesterday. Just like Masao Ishikawa, a man whose surgeon said he needed new knees, a man whose daughter said try the wall first, a man who chose 30 seconds over a $50,000 surgery, and won. Your wall is waiting. Which stance are you starting with tomorrow? Tell us in the comments. We read every single one. Share this with someone who deserves to stay strong and independent. It might be the most important thing you send them this year. Subscribe for more. We'll see you next time.